Well, everybody, welcome to the Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge out, of course, at Greyville Saturday as the big build up to the Vodacom Durban July. Sorry that I'm not on air. I'm not well. COVID got me, unfortunately, but I'm fighting it and we're getting there, and we basically doing it on oxygen. But it's okay. We'll get through it. We've got the more important people with us in Darren Burrows and Daryl Marie. Welcome to you both. Welcome, boys.
Thank you very much, Clyde. Last week wasn't a bad weekend. We did land the last treble of the day in Joburg with Desert Miracle, Johnny Hero, and the last one. So not a bad way to end the day. But hopefully tomorrow is a much better day.
Okay, take us through the well done on that. Take us through the conditions for tomorrow.
Penetrometer reading of 23. Going is good. The false rail set at 5 meters. No rain in the last 24 hours. So good for racing.
Okay, brilliant. Tell me, what about the next thing I'd like to put up for you guys over here? And you can give me some sort of idea as to what the situation is. I've got other changes for you that you guys can have a look at for me whilst we put it up. Because from what I hear, we'll get some sort of indication also on other jockey changes if for whatever else that come with it. So these ones that I've got up for you now, you want to take the public through this, the carryovers and what we can win and the big races and how much money can be taken home.
Okay, so the carryover pick 6 of R1 million. We're expecting 5 million. It could get even more than that with only one race meeting being on Saturday. The jackpot carryover of 250,000, we're expecting R1 million. Trifecta carry over to race 6 at Tibashina Stakes, likely pool 350,000. Serena Mudley not riding.
Okay, brilliant. So that manages that. And then there are some changes as well that you guys might want to just have a look at and take the public through as well, which I think is worth sharing. And have a look if there are any more other changes that I'm not aware of that we'll put up on the screen as we speak.
So the only 4 scratchings on the card to date. Race 1, number 13, Gone Platinum. Race 7, number 6, Trip to Africa. Race 8, number 2, Like That Loose. And race 8, number 11, Storm Chaser.
Okay, not too many changes, but it does, Daryl, make for a very, very good card, does it not?
Yeah, Clyde, I thought last weekend's card was fairly straightforward. I got caught out. But I think we've got our finger on the pulse this week come round. And I do think we're going to bounce back strongly. We've got 1 or 2 that we fancy quite strong. So let's hope we can get off on the right note. Okay,
well, let's do that. Let's get straight into the opening leg of this pick 6 carryover that they're predicting. Take us through the market and tell us what you guys like.
The favourite in the first leg of the pick 6, the listed Great Gate Crash over 7 furlongs, is the Dean Canamate train, number 3, Cosmic Highway. There has been some early anti-post money for him, and he's been supported down to 22 to 10. If you just have a look at his penultimate start, Clyde, that run where he beat Ambiorix, jumps out at you, and is really, really the strongest form that's brought into this race. I mean, we saw Ambiorix go on from there and win a grade 1, the Golden Horseshoe, and he was most impressive. So Golden Highway, in his last start, he had some excuses. He might have needed his first run in the province. And I think he's going to be a better horse now that he's stepped up in Trip. My only concern I have for him, because he does bring the strongest form into the race, my only concern is he has the tendency to lose a few lengths at the start. And I just hope if that does happen, he doesn't get moved to the rail, because if he's on the rail behind a few, there might be 1 or 2 that swing out wide and get first run on him. And he's carrying top weights. So for him to run them down is going to be a tough task. I just hope he's off the rail, that he can move along with them and get and not be caught flat-footed. But there's no doubt he is the horse to beat. I make his danger, number 7, AJ's Captain, who's a lovely son of Futura. He's a big, strong galloper, and he has won at the course. Last time out, he was assisted with a tailwind, but he wasn't stopping at the finish. He was running all the way down to the line, and I think he's got more to come. And he might be the one that Cosmic Highway goes and fetches.
Okay. Darren?
For me, the best bet on the card, Cosmic Highway. His last start, he was dropped back in trip to 1100 meters, and he's a give me the green lights out of a Silvano mare. So I think it's time that he needs the trip and even further. From a good draw, I know last time he didn't lose too much ground at the start. I think he lost about half a length or so. And he was a little bit one-paced. So I believe over the 1400 and this type of field, a lot of maidens, one-time winners, I think he's got a touch of class about him. And I think he's going to be just off the pace. Even if he's midfield, he really can turn it on from a couple of lengths back. So I'm going all in Cosmic Highway, and we are backing him up in the pick 6 with AJ's captain, who I believe is the best of the rest.
Okay, so just in case, look out for AJ as reference. Let's go to race number 5. Take us through the market here.
The favorite is number 2, Tree Tambo at 7-2, joint favorite with the 7 Crown Towers. Then we've got the July supplementary Nexus at 9-2 and 5-1 and better the bar. Clyde, I think Crown Towers, this race might be run to suit him because in his last start, where he gave a lot of weight to the July Hopeful in She's a Keeper. I think he gave it 10 kilograms. I think that run, he never got to the front. And in my opinion, he's most effective when he leads. And I see this race not being any problem for him in getting to the front because there's no natural front runners or nothing that's going to really press him in the early stages. So if he gets easy fractions up front and Richard's able to skip, he could prove hard to peg back in the straights. But in saying that, he is trained by Justin Snaith, and there is concerns about bloods and viruses down in the KZN region. His horses aren't firing, and that is a major concern. So for that reason, I'm leaning towards number 3, Trustful, who I know he's held on his latest start, but I think the race is going to be run to suit him. I think he's going to be able to sit up handy, and he's better than his last start. I think that run would have brought him on a good few lengths. I know he's got it all to do at the weights, but he's my leading light in this open leg of the second leg of the pick 6.
Okay. Could be difficult, but Trustful might be valued at 7, 8.5 to 1, 7.5 to 1 thereabouts. Tell us about, and as you say, you're worried about bloods and all that sort of stuff. Tell us, Darren, your side.
Yeah, for me, it's an open race. We've gone as wide as we could in the pick 6. I think we've excluded 2 runners, Double Mint on collateral form. He's got a bit to do, and Azores. So for me, I see the value with African Night Sky. Once upon a time, back in the end of 2020, he had a 2.5 year off the track, and he hasn't been disgraced. I mean, in the Premier's Trophy, he was a very unlucky loser behind Golden Ducat. And on that run to Golden Ducat, he meets Nexus on a 4-kilo swing in the weights for just under 1 length beating. And last time out behind Double Mint, there's about a 5.5 kilo swing in the weights in African Night Sky's favor. He's coming out fresh. We don't know what to expect of him as a 7-year-old now, but this is the right type of race for him to be very competitive. So I'll narrowly favor African Night Sky. This horse Nexus, every time he comes off a break, he wins. He just loves running fresh. Normally after second run back or third run back, when you think he's peaking, he runs a flat race, but you can't ignore him off a break. Others to consider, Trustful, I bring into the race. Horses like Capoeira, Crown Towers, and even Tree Tambo. So it is a wide open race, but my first choice is African Night Sky.
Okay, African Night Sky, 6 to 1. That does seem to be one of those races where anything is possible. And that, of course, is just a look at the running of the race we've just seen in terms of the preview, and that being the Hollywoodbets Dolphin Cup. Hollywoodbets Greyville goes on to race number 6. I must tell you, boys, I got a call from Don. You know Big Don, Rough Don in Durban? Daryl, you might have met him.
Yeah, I've met Don
many times.
Many
He said, I must thank you and Darren very much. He caught the pick 6 last weekend. He was a 1.5% winner of the pool because he was listening to all the other information you were adding to what you were saying to the pick 6. So to Don, Don's the boss. He's the guy who runs Durban. And he said, I want to please pass on my thanks to Darren and to Daryl for the pick six. I only got 1.5%. He says, I spent R1,000, but I got back 56,000 or something to that effect. So he's very happy with you boys. Well done.
That's great to hear. And I hope he's health-wise, he's improving, because he wasn't too well a few months ago. Am I correct?
That's correct, Joe. He had cancer. Thank God he overcame it, and he's come very well to the extent that he's fighting it very nicely. And he just wants to pass his gratitude. So he'll be playing with much interest for Hollywoodbets Greyville Saturday. Let's go to the East Coast Radio to Machina Stakes. Take us through the market here, Daryl.
Number 6, Zarina, is the favorite 9-2. It's a wide open race as the betting reflects. The 11 Favorita is at 5-1. And then the stable companion to Favorita, number 9, Keep the Lights On, is at 11-2. 6-1 and better bar those. I actually believe the top one of here represents a lot of value, Clyde, at 9-2 Zarina. I think she might trade closer to 7-2 race time. In her last start in the World Sports Betting Fillies Guineas, I think that run is better than what it appears on paper, because they ran it in a crawl sprint type of fashion and it didn't suit her. And she was really doing her best work late in that race alongside Princess Keller, who then we saw in the Will Abington, and she gave War of Athena a big scare up until the 200-meter mark. So that form is grade 1 form. It has been franked, and I think Zarina, now that she strips fitter, she'll take some beating. But I do have healthy respect for the Lucky Udalakas train number 5, Wisteria Walk. I thought that was a cracking effort last time out, over distance short of her best, where she gave the subsequent Golden Horseshoe Grade 1 winner battle for 7.5 kilograms and only was beaten 3.5 lengths. I think her running style, or Greyville racetrack, suits her running style. She likes to go handy, and she's very gutsy when she's up front. So she could prove Zarina's biggest danger. And then you got the likes of number 3, Kaya Coco, who I think is much better than her last start. She had excuses on that occasion. And if you put a line through that start, she does bring some strong form lines into the race. And I think she's third best of the year. But I do believe Zarina at 9-2 represents the value in the race, and she's my each-way play for the day.
And I like the way Keegan DeMello has been riding too. Darren, what's your take for Daryl 3-5-6? What do you think?
My exact selections in that order. Zarina for me should be around 3-1 in the betting. What a cracker last run. She was a long way back turning for home. She made up the ground. She's having a second run in the province. She's gonna tighten up a lot from a good draw. I think Zarina was actually close to a banker. The betting set doesn't suggest that, but I do see the value with her. Wisteria Walk, she likes to go handy. On her best form, she should be competitive, and I believe her best distance is 1400. And Kaya Coco, last time out, I don't know if she really saw it out, but she didn't find much of a finish. She is the only horse to beat Captain's Ransom in the past. I know Captain's Ransom's gone on to bigger and better things, but from a good draw and Muzzy Yeni up, we've thrown her in as a roughie for the pick 6.
Okay, interesting. Both on Zarina in the running of the 6th race. As we now move on to the 7th, the Gold Challenge. Of course, have a look at that market and take a look. It's a quality field. The Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge it is, over 1,600 meters. And Rainbow Bridge's back end is at 19-20, Bulgarian 9-2, Jet Dark 5-1, Seeking the Star 6-1. Just no shortage of talent, with the majority lining up for the Vodacom Durban July. And where does the answer? Is this all for Rainbow Bridge's taking, or does he have Bulgarian or one or two others to worry about?
Well, Clyde, for me, we saw him win this race last year, and I'm really expecting him to follow up on that victory, because he may be a 6-year-old, but his last 2 wins were in most scintillating fashion. I mean, in the Met, and then last time out in the Drill Hall, we saw Luke Ferraris. There's no doubt he gets the best out of him, and I don't foresee any problems over here. I think number 2, Seeking the Stars, is a natural front runner, and Rainbow Bridge can just slot him behind him, just off the pace, and he really possesses all the class necessary to to follow upon last year's victory. I think his biggest danger is the highest 3-year-old in the race, the highest 3-year-old rated horse in the country. That's number 1, Jet Dark. But he's got it all to do at the weights. I think he's 3.5 kilograms worse off with Rainbow Bridge when they last met in the Queen's Plate. So at the weights, he's got it all to do. But there's no doubt he's the younger up-and-coming horse. He's the new kid on the block. He could be a freak. But at the weights, he's got it all to do. I think Rainbow Bridge will win this and go into the Durban July on a high.
Darren?
The pace is going to suit Rainbow Bridge. There's a lot of speed on. And since Luke Ferraris has taken over the ride on that Rainbow Bridge, he likes to get the horse to settle a good few lengths off the pace, and he comes with a storming late run. Previously to that, he used to run handy and then just stay on at the same pace. But Rainbow Bridge done his best when running from well off the pace. So for me, Rainbow Bridge, very hard off to beat. And then we've thrown in Jet Dark. I actually had a bet on him in the Queen's Plate because I was so impressed with his Guineas run. He was very unlucky not to win. And I believe he's on the up. I would have liked to see him have another run before this race, but I wasn't going to exclude him as we don't know how much more in the tank he's got. So we're going 3 and 1 in the pick 6, but Rainbow Bridge, a narrow first choice over Jet Dark for me.
Okay, I'll take it just as a cover. I understand where you're coming from. Let's go to the 8th race, which is the final leg of the jackpot at Hollywoodbets Greyville, and take a look at the market. You boys want to take us through what you like here?
Yeah, number 6, Speed Machine's a favorite at 5-2, joint favorite with Spider's Corner, and then 5-1 and Better the Balance. Speed Machine is having his 3rd run in the province, and I think the 1400 in the sticky conditions at Scottsville caught him out when making his local debut. I think it was just too testing for him on that occasion. And then last time out, he really disappointed. But I think he's got much more ability than that run reflects, Clyde. And I do believe the race is going to be run to suit him because generally over this distance at Greyville, they do go helter-skelter from the jump. And in a small field, I think he can be poised just off the pace, and he's got the ability to run them down in the straights. So we just have to see how Justin Snaith's horses are running on the day. Hopefully he sets the tone early and they hit the board, and then we can get some confidence going forward. But I do like the horse of, I do like Muzieni's mount of Captain OP. Now, there's no doubt he's going to benefit from that short break because in his last 2 starts, you can just put a line through that. He's much better than those efforts. And all hinges on him and how he breaks at the start. Because if he gets a clean break and he's up front, he's really gutsy and he runs his best races when he's in contention early. So I just hope he breaks well at the start because I think he's a huge run over here, especially at those odds. But there's no doubt the race doesn't stop there, and there's several others with chances.
Yeah, it's quite an open race. Okay. Darren, what's your take? Final leg of the jackpot. I see Rising Sun have come to the party again, sponsoring this, the Durban Dash.
Speed Machine has been disappointing. You know, I expected so much from this horse early on when he won the sophomore, and he did win after that. I'm not sure if it was his first run after the gelding or what, but he came back and won so well. And his last start, I did make him close to a good thing, and he was just 1 pace behind him. So if you forgive him that last run, he does seem to have the strongest form in the race. Spider's Corner done nothing wrong. He showed that he's better than a 94 rating when winning last time out, and he should be competitive. Others to consider, horse like Captain OP, first run back after a break. He doesn't quite see out the 1200, but the 1100 should be okay. The 2 Joburg runners, Slalom Queen and Sweet Sensation, there shouldn't be much between them. We have thrown them in, and even a horse like Champompa Champizi, who could be looking for a little bit further, but will be staying on late. So quite an open race.
Yeah, lovely name. Final leg of the Pick 6 now. Let's go on to the 9th race on the card, which will wrap us up and get us into the Pick 6, hopefully, sponsored by Supersport. It's a simple maiden plate and first time in your double edge. Tell us what you boys know.
I know nothing. I do know that according to the trainer's comments in the front of the computer firm, the favorite, I don't know how you pronounce it, Radames, is he might just need the run. So coupled with the fact that he's returning from a 5.5-month layoff and his current odds, there's no doubt you have to take him on, Clyde, because there's not too much confidence coming from the stable. So I think he's going to drift in the markets. I like the look of number 4 and number 7 over here. Number 4, Khan. He's having his first run as a gelding on the turf. I think he's going to prove to be a better turf horse. And in his penultimate starts, he was really doing good late work, and then he found interference. So he should have finished closer to the win on that occasion. And now he's been fitted with blinkers. He's been stepped up in trip. I think we're going to see some good form reversals over here, and I think he is one for the shortlist. And another one at a big price, I think at 16-1, is Parallel Universe. Now, in his later starts, it was his best effort to date. And just perhaps in the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe the pennies finally dropped for him. And if he just reproduces a similar effort to that, he deserves utmost respect over here, because in that race, the form line has certainly been frank. The second horse was Victory Trust, who came out and was desperately unlucky in his next start. And then we also saw the form line of Diorsa and Patronage being franked. So I think Parallel Universe at around about 16-1 represents a value in the race. And a real roughie, if you're looking for another roughie for the quartets, number 1, Ventriloquist. Now she gets her sex allowance and the 4 kg claimer, and she finally cracks a draw. So at huge odds, you certainly want to throw into your quartet. But it's a wide open race to end the last leg with a pick 6.
So maybe 1 and 7 add them in as to what Daryl's already said. Darren, your take?
Well, I don't see any value with Radamez. You know, he's been a beaten favorite in his last 2 starts. He's had every chance. And being an ideal world out of an all-fired up mare, I mean, I thought this horse is looking for like 2,000 meters. So coming off a break of, 6 months, 7 months, I can't really have him. He hasn't got much to beat, but we are opting to go the field in the pick 6, as when you look for dangers, it gets really tricky. The next best could be a horse like Purple Dominance, who on his best Joburg form brings him into a race like that and wasn't disgraced last time out with the blinkers on behind Prince Tyrion. So I wouldn't exclude Purple Dominance. A horse like Khan, he's only had 4 starts. I think with natural improvement, he comes into the race. The first time a double edge, I don't think he's got to be too good to pull off a race like this, but he has a wide draw to contend with. But then again, he's got Lyle Hewitson in the saddle. So a couple with chances. Kennedy's taken the ride on Whispers of War, who's had quite a long layoff and drawn 14. It gets really tricky if you look past the favorite, which we are doing.
So yeah, it does become a hard race then as far as that is concerned. All right, well, let's go through the selections. We'll start with the bar pot. Darren, you want to take us through the bar pot for $432?
Bar pot, first leg, 1, 3, 5, and 7, by 4 and 6, by 3 and 7, by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, by 3, 5, and 6, by 3 a banker, Rainbow Bridge, 432 Rand. Okay,
that looks fairly straightforward then as far as, well, hopefully catching it anyway. The pick 6, I see you guys have spread and spent a bit. Obviously, there are 2 potential bankers in here. The 2 potential bankers being the one being Rainbow Bridge, right, is a potential banker, but you got his cover. And then you made reference there to be there being potentially another pick 6 banker if we could get away with it. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the first leg, Darren's made Cosmic Highway his best bet. He could potentially be a pick 6 banker. And then you could even go short in Tibushina, I think it is, with Zarina. She should certainly be one for the shortlist. But Clyde, it's not the easiest of pick 6s. We have gone wide in the field in the last leg, hoping for a huge result over there. And let's just hope we get to that leg, because if we do, we'll certainly be in the pound seats.
Sounds like let's just be happy to get the 396 Rand at 10%. Thanks for that, Daryl. Darren, take us your play of the day at Hollywoodbets Greyville.
My best bet on the card comes in the first leg of the pick 6. I'll take my chances and tip Cosmic Highway as the best bet on the card, and the value bet African Night Sky, race 5, number 6. He is a 7-year-old, but I do believe he's going to give us a big run for our money with that kind of weight on his back.
Okay, there's the double potential win into place doubles from Darren. Daryl, what's your talk of the day at Hollywoodbets Greyville? I'm just going to amend this as
Yeah,
we
Clyde,
go. Yeah.
I think the best bets on the card has to be Rainbow Bridge. With that drill hole run under his belt, he's got racing fitness on his side, and he certainly doesn't have a cloud hanging above him with regards to bloods and viruses and stuff like that.
Are you going to get even money 12 to 10 eventually or not?
I think we saw 19 to 20 on Interbet already on offer, so you should get even money all day. I think he'll take a power beating. We know what turn of foot he possesses now that he's been raced off and given a chance. And then my value bet comes up in race 6. Zorina, Mark Bass trained filly. I think Master My Fate filly. I think that last run in the province was very, very eye-catching. And if she's built on that effort, I think she'll take some beating. And I think that represents value at 9 to 2. I think she'll shorten in the markets. Okay,
that's fantastic. All right, thank you so much, guys. I much appreciate it. Don't forget to join us Friday nights, as always, for our show. We look forward to watching. It's, of course, the big one on Saturday and the build-up to the Vodacom Durban July. And you can catch all of us every Friday night as we do. We want you to keep watching and make sure that we get you closer and closer to the winning queue. And on that note, well done to Don, who got to the winning queue. It was very nice of him to catch 1.5% of that whole 5 million rand pool, whatever that was. Well done to him. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all of your time. Much appreciated. Sorry I couldn't be with you on screen, but we'll get there. And may all of you play well. And let's hope we can preach and shout about how much you won during the course of next week.
Yeah, more importantly, Clyde, a speedy recovery to you. Thank you. I wish you all the best.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Darren.
Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers.